You guys can sing it if you want. It was her birthday yesterday.
How many?
Oh, she's 14. Obviously, I know everyone's waiting, anticipating what we're going to do at quarterback, and Jayden Daniels is the starting quarterback. Says a lot about him and his ability right now to do some things that we feel real good about. When you think about the history of ASU, first freshman ever start opening day. Says a lot about him. Joey right now is number 2. So that's how we're going to roll. And Dylan's shoulder's hurting him a little bit, so we'll see where that's at. But both those young kids have done a great job, and obviously Ethan is the dual guy. He'll play some quarterback, but he's kind of the H-back. He's kind of doing everything. So it's one of those deals. When you start a freshman quarterback, you anticipate what's going to happen. He's not the savior. Okay, he's not the savior. I don't want anyone to think that. He's a freshman quarterback like all freshmen are, and he's going to do a lot of good things, and sometimes he's going to make some errors. But that's part of it. I told you folks up there, there's going to be about between 15 and 20 freshmen that play this year for us. We've got a young football team, and these guys are very talented, and the only way to get experience is play. And the team is going to have to play that way, knowing that they got a young guy that's playing quarterback. That didn't bother me one bit, to be quite honest.
Do you feel the fact that he got here for spring ball?
That helps. Yeah, that helps all these kids. And I think any quarterback coming out of high school now, they all try to get there in the spring to have a chance to compete and see where they're at. And he's just one of those guys. He's got some mannerisms and some things that he does, as well as Joey. Joey's come a long way from the spring now. I mean, he has really, really come a long way. And he was really quiet in the spring, and his personality's kind of come out. So they're fun guys in the room. Obviously, Ethan has a dual role. Dylan is a guy that has a lot of talent and can still help us. So we feel good about what we're going to do.
Herm, if you had to pinpoint 2 or 3 factors that led to you deciding on Jayden, things that you think he brings to the table?
I think he manages the game really well. He doesn't make a lot of bad throws, to be quite honest. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's got a lot of poise. Him and Joey both. I mean, Joey has a lot of poise too. I mean, he's just, I've been around a lot of quarterbacks, and you just have that feel of they just got it. It's not too big for them. And I think a lot of that has to do anymore with these high school guys playing in 7-on-7 leagues, throwing the ball when they're at a very young age. They're very competitive early. He's that kind of guy. He was coached very well as a high school player. So all those things factor in.
How about the way the team responds to him? Is that part of
it? It's kind of funny because, you sit there and you say, well, should I make an announcement to the team? I said, I'm going to make no announcement for what? To the team, I treat those guys like any other player. If you have a safety that's starting as a freshman, you don't announce it to the team.
Right,
I know when I was a starter, no one announced it. You just go play. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets it. And so I think the quarterback is no different. For you folks, because it's been competition, and I understand that, but I think to announce it to the team, I'm not wasting my time doing that.
You made the announcement tonight, but when do you feel like you knew that Jayden was going to be the starter?
It's like anything else. You have to let it play out. I think it's only fair because there's so many guys that we're competing for. It started off with 4 guys in the spring. Then it narrowed down to 3 going into summer camp because Ethan was a guy that's a dual role guy for us now, and he's a tremendous football player. I mean, I can't say enough about that guy. So you just let it play out, and you gather the data the best you can. It's always hard because there's reps involved in quarterbacks, and you try to get everybody with the first team and all that. But it comes a point to where when the season starts, we got 12 practices left. We got to name a guy. Let's go. And it's your ball and go play. Okay.
Just talent is, we see his potential. But what about just the leadership part of it?
Yeah,
being so young
and that's big. And the one thing about these young quarterbacks now, they got a lot of pressure on them when they're young because 20 years ago, the ball wasn't in the air as much. So these young quarterbacks, there was no 7-on-7 leagues and all that stuff. Now it's they keep their stats. They throw the ball so much at a young age, and I think their ability to lead is critical because the quarterback always has to be the leader, whether he likes it or not. You're tied to the head coach, and the head coach is tied to you, and that's just the way it works. When we recruited all these kids, I told them that. I said, hey, look, we're going to be tied to the hip now. And that's how it works. And if one of you guys become the starter, good for you. but you know, we got to understand, we got to speak the same language. Quarterback and head coach always have to be on the same page. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
folks.
Herm.
Thanks, Coach.